Good morning. I'm doing a Laura Ettinger here. Let's try that again. Good morning.
Good morning.
That's much better. I am Amy Firestein, a lifetime UU whose pronouns are her, she. And I look forward to sharing leadership of today's service with our minister, Rev. Bran Lennox, our director of Lifespan, Religious Education, Corey Ness, and our Director of Music Ministries, Yvonne Duvall. Whoever you are, wherever you live, whomever you love, and however you may spend your days, you are welcome at the Unitarian Church of Harrisburg. We invite you to join us for coffee hour following this morning's service, either downstairs in the common room or on Zoom. Now, a little bit of fun during the coffee hour today. We will be having a giveaway event sponsored by the Decor and Store Task Force. Please take some stuff home and give them new homes and make our storage spaces usable again. These things are free. We all love free stuff, right? Additionally, I want to remind everybody that after service today at noon, we will have an open discussion about the changes to the bylaws that are being proposed. Thank you. Now I invite you to take this moment to hold our space here as sacred by silencing those electronic devices and preparing yourselves to be present. Online or in person, we are grateful for this time together.
There is a beloved hymn, Spirit of Life, which has been a kind of spiritual home for Unitarian Universalists and a source of inspiration since it was first published by Carolyn McDade in 1981. As we light our chalice this week, let's find our home in this tune and let us sing it together. Together this morning to honor the anniversary of the intentional creation of the Unitarian Universalist faith. On May 12, 1961, the American Unitarian Association and the Universalist Church of America successfully passed a vote to consolidate and form the Unitarian Universalist Association. We are a people who have chosen to be together, and in continued celebration of this intentional covenant, we gather today in the spirit that is worship to honor the community of faith which we create, even as it sustains us. And so let us worship together.
So today's story is titled The Merger, and it's written by my colleague Morgan Patton. The United States has always been a place where people practice different religions. In the 1700s, there were Christian, Jewish, Muslim people from Europe and Africa. There were indigenous people who practiced traditional religions, and there were other religious groups. We are going to focus on two different groups, the Unitarians and the Universalists. They were Christians, but their beliefs were different from other Christian groups. Unitarians believed in the unity of God. That language may not make a lot of sense to us today, but just know that it was something that set them apart from other Christians. So Unitarians believed in the unity of God, whereas the Universalists believed that God loved everyone and rejected no one. They believed that God loved all people, even when those people made mistakes. Again, that language may not make sense to us today, but just know that it was something that set them apart from other Christians. The Unitarians and the Universalists were different from other groups in their day. But what brought them together? This one might surprise you. In the 1950s, something happened. The youth, that is our teenagers, from these two groups started hanging out together, and they realized that they had a lot in common. By this time, Unitarians and Universalists were a lot less worried about specific beliefs about God and a lot more concerned about how we lived out our values. Together, these Unitarian and Universalist teens engaged in activism, listened to music, and talked about what mattered to them as individuals and as a community. In 1953, the two groups merged into what would eventually become, again, a word that you may not have heard for a while, is the Young Religious Unitarian Universalists, otherwise known as YRUU. Yeah, okay. In 1961, 8 years after the youth merged, the Unitarians and the Universalists would also come together. So why do you think the teens came together before the adults? Any thoughts on that? Absolutely, sure. Any other thoughts? Yeah. They wanted, yes. Right. Right. Yeah.
Not bogged down by the past.
Yeah. All right. So, what was it like to be a teen in YRUU? Well, according to one person who was a member of that group, it was a lot of fun. They played a game called Sardines. Has anybody here played Sardines before? Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. So one person would hide and then everyone else would try to find them. If you found a person hiding, you had to join them. The game continued with more and more people hiding in the same spot until everyone had found them. Does this game remind you of connections at all? Of course it does. So how so? How does that game remind you of connections? Any thoughts? They're really close, yes. They're winners when they stick together. Right, yeah. Beautiful. So oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Right, search for community. Very nice. So Unitarian and Universalists were connected by their shared values and their commitment to live their values in their communities and in the world. They believed that each person's life mattered, that people should be treated with dignity, and that people had the right to think differently from others. So, another question, the final question. Do you think these values still connect us? Absolutely, yes. All right, so that's the end of our story.
Its temple of space, its shrine, the good heart, its creedal truth, its ritual words of love.
Good morning. My name is James Henninger Voss. My pronouns are he, him, and I've been here since about 2001, right after 9/11. So this is a story about when the past, the present, and the future walked into a meeting of two different religions. It was tense. Obviously, we need to practice that a little more next time. Anyway, but thank you, George. So I think that the origin story of Unitarian Universalism is actually my story. And I think it probably is your story, and I think it's our story. And the reason I think that is because I think there's two different versions of the story. One is a cynical version and one's a positive version. You can guess which one I've lived in for most of my time here. The cynical version is this. You've got two struggling religions who are just seeking a way to keep things going. And so they figure out the best way to do that is to come together to save some version of each of themselves. The positive, well, you know what? That's my story, right? I was struggling with my religion, and I came here seeking to save some version of myself, and that's why I stayed. On the other hand, there's a positive story. And the positive story is there was two religions, both transforming themselves in lots of cool ways, both being more and more hip. It was the 60s. Thinking that, hey, joining together, we could transform ourselves into the natural next step and just become better and keep growing and growing and transforming. And that actually is also myself, right? When I came here, I was also partially positive and seeking and finding things that I was growing, you were transforming, I was transforming. Howard was in the lectern giving us lectures that were very academic. It was great. And I think that might be your story, both the cynical and the negative, right? So whatever your version is, cynical or positive or someplace in the middle, or maybe yin and yang, the key thing is that the same outcome occurs in both stories. Unitarian Universalism was created, and you came, and you stayed, and you joined up. And that's what really matters. Now, the origin story is not a grabber. It's not a grabber. Let me give you a version of a story that might be a grabber. So, angels come and visit several people, and then in a well-coordinated just series of events, a virgin gives birth, and then 3 kings come from way away. Melchior and his buddies come around, and they give the baby birth, saying, "This is foretold." That's miraculous. Tell me more, right? Another story might be God itself comes down and talks to an individual and says, "You know what? Let's make a deal. You do these specific things, and I will guarantee you something like, I don't know, descendants of an infinite number, or really, really nice time after you die, including maybe, if you're doing it just right, 40 virgins." Just weirdly specific gifts. A third version might be 72 hours in a room with a whole bunch of people doing group editing and and figuring out how to write a constitution, figuring out what the deadline is before it comes to the end, and then dealing with a very large minority of people who thought they were going to lose what they valued most. Now that sounds like procedure. I'll make the coffee, you get Robert's rules. Unabridged. Anyway, so which of these is most exciting, which is most of the grabber? I don't know. But honestly, when I think about this, I kind of think the last story, which I think is our story, is also miraculous. I mean, in that 72-hour period when they're writing this stuff, at least one of you would have leaned over to somebody next to you and said, "If we ever get this done, it'll be a miracle." So miracles did happen. I don't know what your belief is, but that's got to be a miracle. So seriously, though, with great appreciation, we should recognize the forebears did some amazing work. They went through the crucible of our birth. And they created one spirituality out of 2. Actually, they created many spiritualities out of just 2. And that's kind of the really great thing of it. The origin itself is not what's important, actually. The story, all this great things about you are, you, or why are you, you? Yeah, I love that. And that would be actually a really long conversation. But anyway, the original story is not what's important. What really matters, as I think everybody's going to say today, we have not talked about this beforehand, but I think we're all coming to the same place. Unitarian Universalism exists. And because it exists, you are here. And because you are here, we are better. And we should celebrate this. We should celebrate this like we celebrate birthdays. Because after all, when you celebrate your birthday, how many of you in the past have written a card to your mom saying, "Happy birthday, Mom," because after all, it was her birthday. So how many people did that? Great. So we're all, I thought I was alone in that. Very cool. You guys are very cool. It was my mom's birthday. I just went through the process. She gave birth. So, but it's not about the origin. You don't celebrate your birthday, and every time you talk about your parents and how they fell in love and whatever, you just talk about the fact that people are coming together to celebrate you because they like you, or at least they're your relative. And they want to celebrate that you exist, right? That's the point of birthdays. We're not here to really focus on the details of how it happened. It's interesting, certainly. But that's not the point. The point is we are here and we should celebrate it. So I think that Consolidation Day, which is the most administratively named holiday I've ever heard of, Consolidation Day should definitely be a high holiday for this church and for all churches. It's the day we celebrate that Unitarian Universalism exists and that we are here. So the question to me is not like, should it be a high holiday, should it not be a high holiday? By the way, if you don't know this, we should have more obviously stated high holidays, like days that we should all be here, days that our family will come back into town to show up, and say, you know what, this is high holiday. We got to be here. We got to be in church, and afterwards we're going to have a feast, and that, and then we're going to go home. We're going to talk about whatever. Like, we need those because that's part of what builds a culture. So, in that regard, like, how do you make Consolidation Day get a better name might be the first step, but how do you make it like really catchy? And the idea is, first of all, you get told. You get told by the people in the pulpit. You get told by the people who lead the church. This is a high holiday. Show up. Like, seriously, be here. This means a lot. Be here on this day. And they should start telling you a month or 2 or 3 in advance. Like, you should know this is happening, right? We should have a big feast every time because this matters. On a birthday, you don't tell people that morning, by the way, it's the Reverend's birthday. Happy birthday, Reverend. And we might or might not go out and get cupcakes later, right? You don't do that. What you do is you say, it's a birthday. Let's plan on being here. I know you can mow your lawn this morning, but instead come here, right? So how do we make it a high holiday? You tell people it's coming, you build the anticipation, you make sure you gather, you have a feast, and you have joyful, celebratory, exciting music. Probably the best strategy would be have the music written by Jews. Anyway, seriously, if you've ever looked up who wrote most of our Christmas songs, it wasn't Christians. It was Jews, right? I'm telling you, just like on Broadway, you got to have Jews. Anyway, so that's from Monty Python's Holy Grail. I'm quoting somebody else. If you are Jewish, forgive me if you feel we're offended. If you're not, then I hope you laugh along. Anyway, other holiday candidates we should think about for high holiday: water ceremony, flower celebration. By the way, I know these are both things, but I really couldn't tell you what they're about. I think they're about the same thing. I think they're about celebrating that we exist, right? And so we might be a little redundant on this theme of like 3 times a year celebrating this, but maybe we should make them high holidays anyway. I mean, I think, and when I asked my kids who were raised UU, what were the high holidays? I got responses: water ceremony, flower ceremony, bridging, Advent, other Christian holidays, and, star ceremony? Is there a stars? Could be solstice. Yes, solstice. Might be solstice. They used the word star. They might, I don't know. It was late at night on a Saturday. Who knows what they had been doing? Anyway, so I would just like to say as a closing thing that I appreciate us celebrating this. I appreciate being asked because I really think high holidays have got to get more high. And you can choose your drug of choice to make that work. But I think being with you is enough of a drug and that we should start doing that on a regular basis. Now, there will not be a short Q&A after this because you're Unitarians, and Unitarians don't get questions answered. They question answers.
I am who I'm becoming. I am all I have done. I am what I am dreaming. I've only just begun. I am who I'm becoming. I am all I have done. Just
with that lovely transition, let's pivot together into the spirit of prayer and meditation, opening our hearts and minds to these words of prayer offered by Lisa Garcia Simpson. Spirit of life and love, Spirit that lives within us and between us and among us right now, within this beloved community and in our work for collective liberation, may we continue to weave the web of trust and care to keep our bodies safe. But more than that, may our bodies be the site of healing, joy, and freedom. May we refuse to let our spirits be depleted and hardened by the forces of hate. Instead, may we open ourselves to be nourished and transformed by the movement for justice, knowing that our collective story is not what we are fighting against, but what we are fighting for. For ours is the work of creation. Ours is the work of inviting people into an irresistible movement, rooted in our belief that a new world is possible. And the center of our work is love and joy and the spirit of abundance. These are the things we are fighting for, and these are the things we are fighting with. May we know deep in our bones that this is the call of our faith. And now is the time when we engage as a community in the sharing of our joys and sorrows, our concerns and our milestones. And this is the heart of our faith community, because when we join together to hold each other in support and in celebration, we may find our sorrows eased and our joys magnified. This morning we will be engaging with this ritual a little bit differently than usual. The music will be participatory, and you are invited to sing along as you are so moved. And as we surround ourselves with song and listen to words of wisdom, I invite you to share your joys and sorrows by writing them on a slip of paper at the back of the room or typing them in the virtual chat. You can also honor whatever you're holding in your heart by lighting a candle here at the front of the room. Please come down the center aisle, returning to your seats by the side aisles. Spoken or unspoken, our hearts join with yours in carrying all that life brings. Many windows, one light, many waters, one sea. All lifted hearts are free. Many windows, one light, many waters, one sea. All lifted hearts are free.
In the Talmud of the Jewish tradition, the sage Hillel said, "What is hateful to you, do not do to others. This is the whole of the law. All the rest is commentary."
In the Hindu legend of the Mahabharata and the divine Krishna declared, "This is the sum of duty. Do nothing unto others which would cause you pain if it was done to you."
It is written, it is taught, may it be so.
Many windows, one light, many waters, one sea. All lifted hearts are free.
In the Gospel of Matthew, in the Christian scriptures, the Messiah Jesus says, "Whatever you wish that others would do to you, do so to them.
In the Buddhist text of the Udana Varga, the student is urged, hurt not others in ways that you yourself would find hurtful.
It is written, it is taught, may it be so.
In the Muslim hadith of the Nawawi, the Prophet Muhammad teaches, no one of you is a believer until he desires for his brother that which he desires for himself.
In the Tai Shang treatise of Taoism, the seeker is instructed, regard your neighbor's gain as your gain, and your neighbor's loss as your own loss.
It is written, it is taught, may it be so.
In the ancient wisdom of Shinto, there is a saying, the heart of the person before you is a mirror. See there your own form.
The Oglala Lakota spiritual leader Black Elk wrote, all things are our relatives. What we do to everything, we do to ourselves.
It is written, it is taught, may it be so.
Beverly Lair shares a joy with us today. She says, I've been offered a cottage at a perfect location at Masonic Village, Elizabethtown. Jim Kavanaugh has both a joy and a sorrow. Jim says, Nan and I had quality time with the grandkids Eleanor and Clara earlier this week, but Nan caught Clara's cold and is home with a cough. She is with us on Zoom, and we'll give her a wave. We have an anonymous submission. This person says, my husband had a colonoscopy with very concerning results. I'm living each day with anxiety. I'm requesting prayer or positive thoughts for him and the rest of the family. We have a message from our friend Wenji in Haiti this morning who says, good morning, everyone. My brothers could not go to school last week because of gunfire. Please keep us in your prayers. Hopefully they will be able to get back to school tomorrow. Have a nice day, all. We're thinking of you, Wenji. Steph Q shares prayer, positive vibes, positive healing vibes for my 54-year-old nephew facing open heart surgery tomorrow. Kathy and Mark Malarich share, Milo Adam Malarich was born to our son Adam and wife Kylie this Tuesday. All are well. And I light one final candle this morning for all those who are not here to share with us today. For all that has been shared and those many concerns we hold deep in our hearts and yet remain unspoken, we journey with each other in love. Many windows, one light, many waters, one sea. All lifted hearts are free. Shanti, Shalom, Hasiti, Salam, Hewa, Dohi, Pax, Patsomir. Shanti, Shalom, Hasiti, Salam. Hewa, Dohi, Pax, Patsomir, Shanti, Shalom, Hasiti, Salam, 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 Hewa, Dohi, Pax, Patsomir. Peace, 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 peace. May it be so.
We Are One by Hope Johnson. We are one, a diverse group of proudly kindred spirits, here not by coincidence, but because we chose to journey together. We are proactive and proactive. We care deeply. We live our love as best we can. We are one, working, eating, laughing, playing, singing, storytelling, sharing, and rejoicing, getting to know each other, taking risks, opening up, questioning, seeking, searching, trying to understand, struggling, making mistakes, paying attention, asking questions, listening, living our answers, learning to love our neighbors, learning to love ourselves, apologizing and forgiving, forgiving with humility, and being forgiven through grace, creating the beloved community together. We are one.
Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. It's the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. It's the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. I can never, never let the dead out under the earth. They are in the rusted trees, they are in the groaning woods, they are in the crying grass, they are in the moaning rocks. The dead are not under the earth. So listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Those who have died have never, never left. The dead have back with the living. They are in the woman's breast. They are in the wailing child. They are with us in our homes. They are with us in this ground. The dead have back with the living. So listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. It's the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters.
Good morning. My name is Mary Lynn Facio, and I serve on the UCH Board of Trustees. I'm here to represent the important labor and leadership that our members offer to keep this congregation thriving. The Unitarian Church of Harrisburg is, as always, an intentionally gathered congregation of freely thinking, loving people. The church is created, sustained, and supported by us. Each week we take up an offering where we ask each other to share money to support the church. We also use half of this money to help a charity which is doing important work to improve the world. For the month of May, we are sharing with Recycle Bicycle Harrisburg. Located in the Allison Hill neighborhood of Harrisburg, Recycle Bicycle Harrisburg's mission is to provide Harrisburg residents, especially those of limited means, with access to safe, reliable, affordable, and environmentally friendly transportation in the form of bicycles. In just a moment, the greeters will start passing offering plates around. You can put cash or checks in the plate when it comes by. You can also donate online by scanning the QR code on the back of your order of service or by visiting uchbg.org and scrolling to the bottom of the page for options. Your financial support and commitment matter. please consider giving what you can.
I always say that there are three main things which define our rather complex faith. The first is a gift from our Unitarian roots, and it's our belief that everyone should have the right to think freely about theology and about the world around them. This expresses itself in our dedication to a democratic, non-hierarchical framework. It shows up in our respect for each person's unique belief set and our young people's sharing of a credo when they come of age. It also shows up in our community's culture. As they say, whenever three UUs discuss a topic, there are 5 different firmly held opinions between them. The second defining element of Unitarian Universalism is a gift from our Universalist roots. It is our belief that all people are equally worthy of love. This shows up in our 6 values, just like it shows up in our historical first principle. We believe in the inherent worth and dignity of all human beings. We demonstrate this belief through our work for collective liberation and through our efforts to deepen compassion for one another. And the third defining element of our faith is covenant. The fact that we have agreed to be in community with one another and to behave with integrity and good faith towards one another. Where many other faiths are drawn together by a shared creed, we are instead drawn together by covenant. It is the sacred core of Unitarian Universalism, and it is the sacred core of each congregation within it. Now, I wasn't there 65 years ago for the vote. I think I was doing something else that day. So I can't tell you whether this is factual or more of a foundational myth that I've come to believe in, but I believe that covenant became this sacred entity for us back in 1961, at the moment that our people said yes. Of course, there were years or even decades of work that went into preparing for that consolidation vote. If you've ever been to General Assembly, you know how laborious these things are. But in that final moment, when the vote was counted and we affirmed our unity, Unitarian Universalists covenanted with one another for the first time. We agreed that we were better off together than apart. We agreed that our vision of the world was shared and that our shared call to put ethical commitments first made the question of shared theology rather moot. We agreed to strive for a fair democratic system of decision-making and to form an association which exists to support its member congregations. This beautiful moment of first covenant has roots in a very special but very unexpected place. As Corey told us earlier, our young people were a driving factor of this merger, but what she didn't mention is why the Unitarian and Universalist youth started hanging out together. And the reason behind that is music. You see, back in the early 1900s, church activities involved the use of books of hymns and prayers. These service and song books were often independently published and expensive to compile and produce. To provide an easier and more affordable resource in the 1930s, the American Unitarian Association and the Universalist Church of America were both contributors to the publication of a shared liberal hymn and song book written for children and youth. This book was called the Beacon Song and Service Book for Young People. This was the first of a series of combined hymnals, which were the ancestors of the ones that we still use today. Thanks to this combined hymn book, it was easy to combine religious education groups and children's services. The young people sang and prayed together and got to know one another, discovering their common ground. I think we get to experience every Sunday how singing and praying together helps us covenant together. It's easier to join together in agreement to be good to one another when you've spent the past however many minutes breathing in time with the person next to you. The young people who sang together in the 1930s and 40s grew up to be some of the same adults who chose to form that Unitarian Universalist faith. So when we say our covenant every week, it's an invitation to remember how we ended up where we are today and offer some gratitude for the many people and many songs which led us here. So in that spirit, I invite you to join me in renewing our congregation's promise with one another as we read our covenant. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Please rise to receive the benediction. These words come from James Galasinski. Our faith, like a light, illuminates the path before us so that we can face hurt with love, cultivate compassion, live humbly in community, and confront despair with the awe of life. Though our flame is extinguished, our faith shines bright before us.